First up, the one thing I see almost on a weekly basis is lighting. You want to make sure that the lighting's coming towards your face. That's going to be key. If you can, when you're in a room, make sure the window's in front of you, to the left or to the right. That's going to be really important. But don't have it behind you. A lot of people will put their desk so it backs onto a window. What tends to happen is that your entire face will be completely covered. So lighting to the front, nice and bright. Everybody wants to see you. Glasses. What do you do if you're wearing glasses? Well, I'm a glasses wearer. I wear them when I need to read anything on a screen. And that's a real problem, because with lighting directly in front of you, what's going to happen is they're reflective surfaces. They're just going to reflect the light back. And what they do is they have like an arc of light that you need to make sure your window or other things aren't in. So if you're doing a recording like this, you can't use ring lights that light up your face. So because you just look like some crazy alien with ring eyes. So just think about just having the ring light, but just turn it on its side. I just flip it on the side and it lights the room really well. I also have above the head lighting, just your normal room light. Also, I don't have a window directly in front of me, because what will happen is that will shine directly on, and all people will see is a reflection and they won't see your eyes. And we want them to see your eyes. So put your window to the left or to the right. If you're doing video calls for 10 hours a day, then just do the window thing and just make sure there's nothing super bright right in front of you. Cameras. Always a tricky one, this. Some of the laptops or some of the machines that you're using maybe for work, or if it's an older laptop, the camera's going to be pretty rubbish. It's very small, very, very small lens. It's not going to be the greatest thing. So the idea is maybe just spend 20 quid, $20 to buy yourself a small add-on camera, something that's maybe 720 or 1080p. That will massively upgrade the quality of your camera. The other thing is to look at it. I want to look directly at you, and it can be tricky. If you're working on documents, sure, it's fine to look left or to look right to look at it, but then come back to your audience. You wouldn't look at, if you're talking to someone, you wouldn't look at their arms or their legs or something like that. That's going to be really off-putting and pretty creepy. So what you want to do is you want to look into their eyes. So it's the same thing. What you're doing is you're looking at their eyes, and when you're looking at the camera, you can look at their eyes. You can put a picture of them or something really cool on top of your camera, which means I want to look at it. Or maybe get one of those cameras that has a little light, and then you can focus in. Again, you shouldn't be staring, because again, that just looks weird. But try and be a little bit natural. Assume the camera is their face. And we want to look at people's faces, right? Backdrop. The stuff behind you. Now, this can be either really simple or really difficult. It could be that, like me, it's just a wall and you have stuff that's behind you you narrow the focus of the camera, and you can get software to narrow that focus. So I have, to the left hand side of me, I've got a printer and some books, but you can't see them because they're just out of shot. A lot of people don't have super tidy places, but try and reduce the clutter behind you if you can. The ideal situation is to have nothing behind you, or to have it really simple. So people look at you. We want people to look at us. We're the speaker. If we're doing a lot of Zoom calls, again, it's going to be easier on their eyes. They're going to focus on us. They're going to focus on what we're saying as well. If you can't, lots of software out there that will slightly fuzz the background. And that's your plan B. Plan A, keep it simple. Software. Let's make sure it's up to date. 3 simple rules. You want to make sure your machine software is up to date, because the latest drivers are likely to be better than the older versions, hopefully. You want to make sure the firmware of your camera. So if your camera has firmware, let's see if we can get that updated. There may be bugs that you don't know about. There may be a problem you've been having that will be fixed by that latest firmware. So let's get that updated. And then your browser. A lot of people will be using in-browser technology to either do calls like in Google Meet, or you'll use other streaming tools. Your browser needs to be up to date. If your core browser isn't, then get something that you can add on, like Chrome or something, that you can then update. Again, patch it, patch it, patch it. Keep it all up to date. It also is going to keep you safe in this kind of dangerous world out there. You don't want any of your data to be lost. So let's patch everything, but it also has the massive benefit of giving you a better picture. Computer. Your computer's going to matter mainly if it's slow. You don't have to worry about what type of machine it is, but it has to have enough power to be able to display video. It needs to record video and sound and then transmit it. That's quite a hefty load. If your machine is, say, around about 5 years old, it may not be able to do it, and you may be losing some quality or a thing called frame rate, the speed that it can update. So if your quality isn't high, have a look at the machine. See if it's the problem. Last up, preparation. Now, things break, things don't work, and the only way that we can be ready for them is by testing. And I've got a phrase I love is chance favors the prepared mind. So let's prep everything. Let's do a test. If we're going to have a Zoom call, let's make sure Zoom works on our machine. Let's make sure the video and the sound works and we're happy with it. If we're going to use any other software, let's make sure we understand what that software is. Do we know how to mute? Do we know how to unmute? Just get used to using the particular software, and don't let it be the first time that you use a piece of software is when you're under pressure. When we're stressed, our brains lose the ability to be able to think clearly. Well, it does for me anyway. So I need to make sure I've just prepped everything beforehand. So just get it prepped, make sure you're clean, have a run through with somebody, with a friend beforehand, and make sure you're comfortable so you can work on what you're saying, not what you're saying it on. This is Everyday Facilitator. I'm Tony Wood. If you liked, subscribe, follow. That lets me know you want me to do more. Have a great day.